Hi all, my name is Davis and welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things tech, and today we are taking a look at something that sort of melded the two halves of my life. So I don't think that I've mentioned this on my YouTube channel before, but when I'm not making these videos, I work in TV and live events. And one of the main types of cameras that we work with are PTZ cameras. For those of you who don't know, the idea of having a real camera operator is just way too expensive and exotic for most productions now. So PTZ or robotic cameras have become increasingly popular. These cameras are essentially little camera recorders that can zoom in and out, that are also on a gimbal-like contraption so that they can tilt up and down and pan across as well. And typically they are controlled by someone with a little joystick. While they were a little bit clunky when they first came out over a decade ago, now more often than not, you couldn't really tell the difference between a PTZ and a camera that's manned by a real person. And the reason why I'm telling you about PTZ cameras is that essentially I've got one in this box with me today, except miniaturized, and instead of being controlled by a real person remotely, it's controlled via AI. And here it is, the OBSBOT Tiny 2, and it is essentially the next generation in webcams, and perhaps it could also be the perfect content creation device as well. OBSBOT have given me a device and are sponsoring this video as well, but as you guys know, everything I say in this video are still my own thoughts, and they have not had any editorial input into this video either. So let's see what it can do. So it costs $329 American, and while that is seemingly a lot for a webcam, for a PTZ camera, it definitely isn't that much. This Canon PTZ camera, for instance, is over $3,000, and the specs of the Tiny 2 are a lot better than your typical webcam as well. So let's see what it comes inside the box. You get the box, obviously, this travel case thing, which is perfect for travel, I think. So if you're having meetings in hotel rooms or create content in hotel rooms all the time, I guess this is perfect for you. And inside the case, you get the camera over here, which is cute and adorable. Just look at that. Inside this tiny little unit over here, which just sits in the palm of my hand, the specs are pretty special. Firstly, there is a 1 in 1.5 inch CMOS sensor, which is significantly larger than most other webcam devices. It's sort of a similar size that you get in an XD cam or on a modern flagship smartphone like an iPhone. It's honestly a sensor size that's so large that I was pretty shocked when I first read it on the spec sheet. That sensor also has dual native ISO, which means that it's got superior low light performance without sacrificing image quality in brighter locations. And again, that's not something that I've seen on anything remotely consumer facing at all. It's something that you often see on a cinema camera, let's say. Beyond that, you can see that this webcam is able to tilt vertically, and you can also pan horizontally. And the materials and build quality feel very, very solid indeed. Also in the box, you get a USB-C to USB-C cable. And if you've got an old-fashioned computer, you've also got an adapter to make that USB-A. And you also get this very unique looking stand. So this stand attaches to the bottom of the camera via magnets, and you can use it to prop the camera up in different situations, whether or not it is just on a table, or probably what you would be doing is propping it on top of a laptop lid, in which case it sort of looks a bit like this. It is indeed quite a cool design. And then we can attach the cable like so. Okay, so now that I've unboxed the camera, let's see how it performs. And while you can just plug it in and have it work like a normal webcam, to fully take advantage of the camera, you need to download the latest OBSBOT app from the website, and it looks something like this. Okay, so when you first open the app, we can just begin to see the wide range of features that this webcam offers. So if we press this button over here, we can bring up the video preview so we can see what we are working with here. And as you can see, my roof is very attractive indeed. So let's change it so that the camera is on me. So now you can see that indeed, I am very attractive indeed. And under this preview screen over here, we do have access to a number of settings. For example, we can select what sort of quality we want the video to be. And let's keep it on 4K 30, let's say. But if we press the cogs button over here, we can select settings like what sort of bitrate we want, and also the recording format. So we just want to keep it on MOV, let's say, because that is a easy to work with format. And as we can see, the image quality is rather tremendous on this camera. It's so good that I would actually consider making my videos with this camera if I could make it work with a teleprompter, that is. However, one of the reasons why you are going to be looking at this particular camera is for the AI tracking modes. So as you can see, if I move myself throughout the frame, it will track me, which is very exciting indeed. So look at that, just follow me throughout the room. And then when I sit back down, it's almost like that I've got a real camera operator operating this camera. But obviously there are multiple settings that you can choose from. For example, if we press this button over here, we can set the center target for a different part of the screen. So if we've got graphics on this side of the screen, for instance, we can set the target for over here. So it would frame my face on that particular part of the screen. You can also tell it what sort of motion you like. So if you're not happy with this sort of standard movement, you can set the motion setting over here for tracking, and that makes everything a lot faster. So just watch it track me throughout the room now. So it is very, very fast indeed. Oh, hi, there's Dennis, a real camera operator. And let's come back around. As you can see, it is very, very fast. This AI is very intelligent. But let's just bring it back to standard for the moment. And underneath here, we can see that there are further options. So for example, if we just want to track my upper body, we can select the upper body option and then it just does that. You won't see my trousers whatsoever. However, if you are sort of into just the lower body, you can do the headless mode. And there we go. We've got no face anymore. Not sure why you would want this, but the option is there. And likewise, we've got the lower body option. So if you're interested in streaming this particular part of the body, you've got that as well. So we can see that it's just tracking my lower body. It's very good at that. It's too smart. Beyond that, you've also got access to things like desk mode over here. So if I turn that on, it uses AI to help create what looks like a top-down view. For example, if you are, writing or drawing or something, it's really good for that. Beyond that, you've also got the whiteboard mode over here. So if I'm presenting to a class, if I'm doing impressive math and stuff like that, it's recording a whiteboard. You've also got a hand mode. So if you've got an ugly face but a really nice hand, it can track that quite nicely. Does it have a feet mode? No feet mode, I'm afraid. So if you love your AI automatic modes, this is really, really good for that. More familiar for me though, and with my work with PTZ cameras, are the preset modes. So by default, we've got 3 presets over here. So let's try setting some presets. So let's say that this is our first preset like so. We want to remember this spot. So I would just go update PTZ for that. And then let's say that I want set myself as preset number 2. I can just press that here and then go update PTZ. And then for setting number 3, let's say that I want something wild. I want my teleprompter. So I can go here and let's just say, so let's zoom in like so. And then I can make that preset 3. And now that I've got my preset set, I can just hop between them. There's Dennis. Here is me. Hello. And finally, we can go to the teleprompter and there we go. How cool is that? Just like a professional, there we go. Just like a professional PTZ camera. So you can save camera positions and come back to them later with the press of a button. I believe that you can have up to 3 of them. And finally down here, you probably just saw me do that before, but we've got a joystick to control the actual camera. You can control it in a variety of other ways as well. You can connect it to various different types of controllers, but I don't have any with me right now. Oh yeah, it's also quite good that you can change the speed of the joystick. So we can pan very fast, and we can also pan very slow. If you want a nice smooth movement like that. And of course, you can adjust your zoom like so. And just to make it clear as well, unlike, a more expensive PTZ camera, this just uses digital zoom instead of optical zoom. But even so, because the sensor is so large, the quality is not affected too badly, even if you do zoom in a fair way. And so those are the basic options you have. But don't worry, because there is more. Let's quickly take a look at the image quality page. So firstly, we've got HDR mode. Because the Tiny 2 has a dual ISO, we've got HDR that takes advantage of recording both of those ISOs at the same time. We can set the focus to not autofocus, if you prefer everything manual and out of focus probably. So let's bring that back into focus, let's say. And if you don't like your face, you can just set the focus to global as well. And also, what's interesting here that not many other reviews have talked about is the fact that you can set your exposure comp. A lot of people have said that this camera does expose a lot darker than some others, but all you have to do is up the compensation. And then, you can go from really dark, like so, like that's too dark for me. And then we've got, pretty nice and bright. So you've got options over there. But if you thought that's all it could do, there's more. Under the more section, we've got a variety of things. Firstly, you can select between what sort of backgrounds you want when it sleeps, which is but you've also got gesture control. So let's try some of them out. For example, to turn on and off tracking, you just put your hand up. So currently it's not tracking me. To turn it back on, all I have to do is put my hand up and now it will start tracking me. We can see that the light on the front changes as well between tracking modes. So for example, if I'm over here, I can just hand up and then it stops tracking me. I can go wherever I want. However, if I want to be tracked again, all I have to do is put my hand up and then it tracks me. How fun is that? In addition to that, you've also got some other ones. So let's move back here and do that. So one of my favorite ones is the zoom. So if I want to zoom into where I am now, all I have to do is do that and it will zoom in. That is pretty cool. But if you want to be more precise than a preset zoom, you can hold your fingers out like so and then zoom in and out. Look at that, that's zoomed out, and let's zoom in again. That actually feels a little bit like magic, doesn't it? That is so fun. In addition to that, you've also got voice control. So for example, if I want to wake it up, all I have to say is, "Hi, Tiny." If I want it to sleep, I go, "Sleep, Tiny." There we go, it's sleeping. How fun is that? And then I can go, "Hi, Tiny." And then it wakes up. I can say, "Track me." "Hi, Tiny, track me." And then it continues to track me. And then we can go, "Zoom in closer." That's a bit ghastly. "Zoom out further." Position 2. Position 1. Position 3. Position 1. Position 2. As we can see, there's lots of fun, intelligent options like so. And if you were wondering why I've looked so good on this camera so far, it's not natural, I'm afraid. It's because I am using the beauty mode. So there's a variety of AI features that you can use. So for example, we can turn bokeh on, like have a nice blurry background. We can make it really artificial looking, like you're using zoom, or we can make it, a bit more subtle and natural looking. And we've also got this retouch. So as you can see, I've got the beauty mode on. It definitely was not accidental. And if I turn it off, yikes, can you see the difference? So this is me improved, and this is me without the beauty filter. I think I definitely need the beauty filter. And if you think it's a bit too much, you can make it all custom. For example, let's say that I'm a woman now. We can make me very bright. Smooth skin, I like smooth skin. let's clarify me. Let's slim me up. Oh my god. Okay, that might be a little bit too silly. So let's bring that down. Let's just do man. Yeah, we'll just like have these on pretty minimal settings. So if I turn it off, you know, I look ugly and hideous. If I turn it on, it looks like I've got makeup on. So I would say, although a lot of people have lambasted this feature, I think if you use it subtly, it does work rather well and can save you a lot of money in foundation or whatever. And finally, we've got these filters. I probably wouldn't use these, but they are very subtle and do look quite fun. Like, I quite like the film one actually. That looks really good. That's sort of like a nice organic film look, but let's turn that off. Okay, so now that we've seen how the Tiny 2 works, let's look at how the quality compares to another webcam. So this is the webcam that I've been using until now. This is the Logitech StreamCam. You've probably seen me talk about it before. This costs $130 US. So while it is a lot more affordable than the Tiny 2, it's still a fair bit of an expense. So how it works is that it clips onto a laptop's display in quite a similar way as the Tiny 2. It just attaches like that. But obviously it doesn't have any of the PTZ functionality of the Tiny, although you can rotate it manually if that's your style. And it only records in 1080p and it's got a far smaller sensor. So let's just see how it looks. Hello, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I am using the Logitech StreamCam. And the microphone is the StreamCam as well. How do I look? I think I am a little bit overexposed and the colors are quite muted, so I'm not a big fan of that. Hello, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I am using my MacBook Pro's camera. Look how good this is. Not. And hello, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This is the OBSBOT Tiny 2 camera. I'm recording in QuickTime, so there's no filters and whatever. We can see that I've got a nice blurry background that's completely natural. We can see that it's tracking me a little bit. That's very good indeed. And the mic as well, I am using straight from the OBSBOT, but of course you can use other external microphones for the optimum quality. And I think that I do look rather jolly good, don't you? And so that was the OBSBOT Tiny 2. I personally didn't think that I would be seeing my real life job as a camera operator be replaced by one of the gadgets that I cover on this channel, but I'm afraid here we are. The Tiny 2 is a mini PTZ camera with brilliant image quality. It's got genuinely useful and kind of scary actually AI features that can replace a real life camera operator. Again, thank you OBSBOT for sponsoring this video. If you would like to find out more about the camera, the links are below. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I will try to answer all of your questions in the comment section too. And until next time, toodaloo.